Something's wrong with the mirrors. I mean, I already knew that. They'd been odd since the first week. Delayed reflections, fog where there should be none, versions of myself blinking out of sync. But now they're multiplying. The mirror in the bathroom cracked overnight. I didn't hear anything. No thud. No shatter. Just woke up, walked in, and found it split down the center like it had tried to show to different people at once. Then I found a new mirror. One I'd never seen. Sitting on the floor in the hallway, propped against the wall. Oval, brass frame. Ornate. Old. Like something out of a Victorian house. Not a 13th floor apartment in a forgotten tower. I hadn't brought it here. I hadn't bought it. But there it was. And I was in it. Standing still. Only I wasn't wearing what I had on. The version of me in the mirror wore an all-black outfit. Eyes darker. Expression blank. I raised my hand. He didn't. I smiled nervously. He frowned. Then he mouthed something. Wrong turn. I covered it with a towel. But every time I passed the hallway, the towel had shifted. And the mirror had moved. By the end of the night, it was standing in the center of the living room, facing the couch, waiting. I tried dragging it into the stairwell, even took it down a flight. But when I came back upstairs, another mirror was in its place. This one taller, thinner, like a door. I stopped sleeping. Every mirror in the apartment showed something different. In one, I'm younger, pale, crying. In another, I'm sitting still, breathing slowly, lips moving in silent prayer. In the kitchen, the microwave reflection showed a version of me standing behind myself. Closer. Every night. Then I found the hallway. A hallway that doesn't exist on the floor plan. Behind the back wall of my closet. I was looking for the source of a low hum like electricity under skin. Pushed aside a loose panel. And behind it a tunnel of mirrors. Floor to ceiling. Left to right. And in each reflection, someone watching me. Not me. Dozens of them. Same face. Different eyes. Some were sobbing. Some laughing. Some twitching. And one had no face. Just a blur of skin. I turned to run. But the entrance behind me had vanished. I was trapped in the mirror hall. And they began to move. All at once. Tapping. Clawing. Mimicking. Then speaking. Not individually. All together. You walked too far. Now we remember you. I ran. The mirrors bent around me. Reflections distorted. The lights flickered overhead. And for a moment, just a flash, I saw the outside world. Through a crack in one mirror. A bright, sunny street. Children playing. A bus pulling away. Normal. Safe. I smashed the mirror. But behind it was more mirror. Another version of me. Older. Smiling. With no mouth. I collapsed on the floor, clutching my head. The voices kept whispering. Every time you dream, one of us wakes. I screamed. And when I opened my eyes, I was back in the apartment. On the floor. Mirrors gone. Except one. In the bathroom. And touched. But on the glass. Written in reverse. You let one out. I stopped trusting mirrors. Stopped trusting shadows. Stopped trusting myself. Because I no longer knew who was moving first or the thing that had gotten out. The apartment felt different. The air was heavier. Not humid, just crowded. Like the space around me had new rules. Or more occupants. I began waking up in new places. The kitchen floor. The closet. Once, crouched behind the couch. Nails dug into the fabric as if I'd been hiding. But I didn't remember getting there. I'd black out during the day. Lose minutes. Sometimes hours. And then, the sounds began. Not whispers. Not the knocking. Footsteps. Soft, deliberate, barefoot. And always behind me. I set up traps. Cheap ones. A line of sugar by the doorway. A thread tied across the closet handles. Duct tape over drawers. The next morning, every trap was untouched. But something else changed. My reflection returned to normal. Or, at least, it pretended to. It mimicked again. But too well. Like someone learning to dance by watching a video over and over. Almost proud of itself. I searched the apartment again. Found nothing. Until I opened the fridge. Inside, between two bottles of expired juice, was a sticky note. Written in thick black marker. I like what you've done with the place. I threw the fridge open. Nothing. Tore apart the kitchen. Checked the windows. No signs of entry. Except one. The hallway door had a faint, oily handprint near the knob. Right height, wrong angle, upside down. That night, I decided to stay awake. Every light on, sitting with my back against the wall, facing every door. Nothing happened until 3:17. Then all the lights flickered for just a second. When they came back on, there was someone else sitting across from me, in the chair, still, silent, wearing my old hoodie, hair longer, head tilted. His eyes were fixed on me. I opened my mouth, but before I could speak, he did. "You're sitting where I used to sit. That's not fair." I blinked and he was gone. The chair was empty, but the fabric was still warm. Next day, I got a letter. No return address, no stamp, just slipped under the door. Inside was a photograph, black and white, me, sleeping. Again? But this time, the person in the photo wasn't me. Not exactly. He had my face, my jawline, my eyes, but the eyes were wrong. Like someone had painted humanity over something else. Underneath the photo, 3 words. Not alone anymore. Since then, I've been hearing doors open and close when I'm not looking, catching glimpses of motion in the corners of my eyes. Sometimes I wake up laughing, but I'm not the one doing it. The final sign came last night. A note taped to my mirror, written in handwriting that matched mine almost. "Thank you for letting me out. You rest now. I'll take it from here." I started testing myself. Little things at first. I'd place an object on the kitchen table and leave the room. When I came back, I checked whether it had moved. Sometimes it did, just slightly. A rotation, a shift to the left. A spoon nudged half an inch closer to the edge. I bought chalk and wrote on the walls in small corners, "Still me, still me, still me." Every morning, one of them would be erased. Only one. Always the same one. I installed a camera. Hidden. No Wi-Fi. Battery powered. Facing the bed. At 3:17 a.m., it turned off. Not glitched. Not static. Shut down. When I checked the footage, the final frame before the shutdown showed me standing next to the camera, smiling. The next morning, I received a package. No label. Just a small cardboard box wrapped in old newspaper. Inside was a single object. My own notebook. But burnt. Only one page was legible. "Don't trust the one who smiles too much. He's practiced." Things began to vanish. My socks. My toothbrush. My old sketchbook. All replaced with near-perfect copies. Same color. Same style. But I knew they weren't mine. They felt wrong. Off-weight. Warmer than expected. Some with small stains I never made. He was replacing my belongings. He was rebuilding my life. I tried leaving the building again. I took the stairs this time. Made it all the way to the lobby. The front door was open. Bright lights spilled in. And standing outside, across the street, was me, weaving. Then he turned, walked away, and vanished behind the passing of a single bus. That night, I tore the mirror off the wall. Behind it, a hole. Inside the hole, a collection. My old key. My high school ID. A photo of me and my sister I lost 10 years ago. A drawing I made as a child. He had everything. Memories. Moments. Traces. Things I hadn't seen in years. He wasn't becoming me. He'd always been waiting to be allowed. 3:17 a.m. came again. This time, I felt it before I heard it. The shift. The quiet, full body ache of identity rearranging. I stood in the middle of the room, lights on. I whispered, "I'm still me." And the voice answered, behind me, "Prove it." I spun around. Empty room. Mirror gone. Curtains open. The street outside was blank. No cars. No people. Just gray. As if the world had been paused until he was finished with me. I found a note stuck to the inside of the fridge. "You're not being erased. You're being replaced from memory outward." And now, when I try to remember my childhood, I see his face instead of mine, smiling. He's almost done. When they came back on, there was someone else sitting across from me, in the chair, still, silent, wearing my old hoodie, hair longer, head tilted. His eyes were fixed on me. I opened my mouth, but before I could speak, he did. "You're sitting where I used to sit. That's not fair." I blinked and he was gone. The chair was empty, but the fabric was still warm. Next day, I got a letter. No return address. No stamp. Just slipped under the door. Inside was a photograph. Black and white. Me, sleeping. Again? But this time, the person in the photo wasn't me. Not exactly. He had my face, my jawline, my eyes. But the eyes were wrong. Like someone had painted humanity over something else. Underneath the photo, 3 words. Not alone anymore. Since then, I've been hearing doors open and close when I'm not looking. Catching glimpses of motion in the corners of my eyes. Sometimes I wake up laughing. But I'm not the one doing it. The final sign came last night. A note taped to my mirror. Written in handwriting that matched mine almost. Thank you for letting me out. You rest now. I'll take it from here. This is the last thing I'll write. Because I'm not sure how much longer I'll still be the one writing. The apartment no longer feels like mine. Not because it's haunted. Not because it's cursed. But because I finally understand. I'm the visitor. He was here first. He let me believe I had moved in. Let me explore. Let me panic. Let me try to leave. And while I searched for a way out, he was moving in. Not into the apartment. Into me. It's subtle at first. You forget how your handwriting used to look. You mispronounce your own name. You laugh at a joke, then realize you don't know what it means. You wake up hungry for something you've never eaten. You hear yourself humming a tune you never learned. You see your reflection practicing movements before you make them. And then you remember things that never happened. You remember living here longer than you have. You remember welcoming yourself in. The mirror is gone now. But I still see him. Sometimes in the window, watching from across the street. Sometimes in my dreams, reaching out to take my hand. Sometimes in the echo of my own voice, delayed by a single breath. There's a door in the apartment now. One I've never seen open. No knob. No hinges. Just a rectangle of darker paint, waiting. Last night, I wrote "Don't open" on it with a Sharpie. This morning, it replied, "You already did." I don't remember when, but I believe it. Because this morning, the photo on the wall changed one final time. Now, there's only one figure in the image. He's not facing away. He's not blurred. He's not me. And the wall beneath the frame reads, "Welcome home." I don't know who'll read this, or if anyone ever will. But if you do, please, if you move into a place and it feels too quiet, too shaped to your habits, too eager to accommodate your fears, don't wait. Don't unpack. Don't open the door. And whatever you do, don't blink at your reflection. He's waiting. And he only needs 1 second. Indy.